All right, welcome back. Math is easy step by step. In this part 10 video, we're continuing using a products chart to add and subtract fractions, right? I'm also going to go over and review with you that little fraction trick in case you missed it in my prior part videos. Okay, so in review, we are subtracting 1/3 minus 1/7, and the numbers on the bottom in the denominator's place are not the same. In order to add or subtract, you must have the same denominator. That's the same number in the bottom, or sometimes called the common denominator. So I'm setting up my product chart, my product T chart. I placed the 3 and the 7 at the top. And then on the left side, I'm going to write times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 100 if I have to, in order to find the number or the product. Again, that's the answer to a multiplication problem that both 3 and 7 share. Okay, so 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 3 plus 3, which is 6. 3 times 3 is 6 plus 3 more, which is 9. Right? 3 times 4 is 9 plus 3, which is 12. 3 times 5 is 12 plus 3, which is 15. 3 times 6 is 15 plus 3 is 18. And 3 times 7 is 18 plus 3, which is 21. I'm going to do the same thing for the value of 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 21 plus 7, which is 28. Right? 7 times 5 is 28 plus 7, which is 35. 7 times 6 is 35 plus 7, which is 42. And 7 times 7 is 42 plus 7 more, 49. All right, so that's my little trick. If you're struggling with multiplication or finding the products, you just add the value each time to get the new product. All right, hopefully that helps a little bit. So, looking through here, what numbers do both 3 and 7 share? What numbers do they both share? Well, 21 is the number they both share, and that's the smallest number that they both share. Unless I'm making a mistake, which I've been known to do many times in the past. That's the golden road to knowledge. Don't fear or be embarrassed by your mistake. Learn from it, get better, stronger, better, and better, and learn from your mistakes, and you can only improve. So 21 looks like it's going to be our common denominator. And if you've been watching my videos from part 1 all the way through this part 10 video, test yourself. What do you do? Now you know the common denominators. What are you going to do with these two fractions here? All right, test yourself. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. Okay, so we know the common denominator is 21. So 3 times what? And you can look at the chart here. 3 times what gives me 21? 3 times 7 gives me 21. So what I do to the bottom of the fraction, I have to do to the top. 3 times 7 is 21. 1 times 7 is 7. Bring down the minus sign here. 7 times what? Look in the chart. 7 times 3 is 21, right? So what I do to the bottom, got to do to the top. So 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 1 is 3. Equals. Now I have that same common denominator. I can add or subtract the numerator values. Here we're going to subtract. So 7 minus 3 is 4. And again, that 21 stays 21. You do not add or subtract. The denominator or the bottom numbers stays the same throughout. Now you have a fraction, a solution of 4 over 21, or 4/21 is another way to say it. Can you reduce this fraction, right? And don't worry, in the next video, part 11, I start to go in-depthly showing you very slowly how you can reduce your fractions. But here's a quick look. The top number is 4. That's an even number. The bottom number is 21. That's an odd number. Most of the time, your value would be reduced. Now, not always. There's the exception to the rule sometimes, right? So, but that's a good way to look at it. Is there a number I can divide into 4 other than 1 that I can also divide into 21? Well, let's start with the smallest number we can other than 1. 4 can be divided by 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. But 21 cannot be divided by 2 because there's no number times 2 that gives me 21. Okay, 3 will not work for 4, but I know that 3 times 7 is 21. So I can divide 3 into 21. And I'll get 7, but I cannot divide 3 into 4 evenly. 4 will go into 4, but 4 will not go into 21. 5, no, so there I'm done. Yes, this fraction is reduced. This is your final answer. Let's take a look at that trick I showed you in earlier parts of videos. This might help you a little bit if you're struggling with understanding the product t-chart. Okay, so here's that fractional trick I talked about. You can take the two denominators and you can multiply them to find your common denominator, right? And here's 21. So I'm using the same fractions, 1/3 minus 1/7. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, so what do you do now? Okay, so since I multiplied 7 times 3 to get 21, what I do to the bottom, I gotta do to the top. I'll multiply 7 times 1. And since I multiplied 3 times 7 to get 21, what I do to the bottom, I gotta do to the top. I'll multiply 1 times 3. Okay, so that gave me a common denominator, 21. Stays 21 throughout the problem, including the answer. 7 minus 3 equals 4. My answer is 4 over 21. Can you reduce this fraction? No, we just talked about how you cannot. This is already in reduced form. Hey, stick around for part 11. I'm going to go over in depth starting how to reduce fractions, and I got some practice problems for you to do, pause, stop, and pause problems. And of course, I will show you the solutions and how to get there. Many different ways to reduce. I'm going to show you ways for some students that struggle with finding products or multiplying numbers. And I'm going to show you ways for some learners who understand their products and they're very good at multiplying and finding answers. So stick around. Part 11, I'll go over how to reduce your fractions in depth. Thank you for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step. If I've helped you, please help me to help others. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Remember, math is easy. You just got to take it step by step. Thank you for joining me.